All right, how's it going? I'm going to do a quick video today about degreasing slash oil-based pomade management, managing the build-up on oil-based pomades. So this is something that a lot of people, if they've never tried oil-based pomades before and are thinking about giving it a go, degreasing or washing out of your hair is one of the things that puts a lot of people off oil-based pomades because they think it's just going to be so hard to get out, and they're going to be stuck with it in their hair. Maybe you've got flashbacks of using something like Dax Red or Murray's, and you put a bit in your hair, and if you didn't know how to get it out, then yeah, it can be really difficult to get out. I've got a few products that I use that I find it very easy to degrease with. I never really have too much of an issue with it. Depending on how much buildup you've got, you might need to use more or less of these products, but I always find it fairly easy to wash any oil-based products out of my hair. So to get started, we'll talk about managing buildup first, and then we'll talk about completely degreasing afterwards. So when we mean managing oil-based buildup, it means just making sure if you don't manage the buildup, after a few days of having oil-based pomades in your hair, it can start getting really just sort of overly waxy, and your hair just becomes completely saturated with it, and it becomes really difficult to deal with, and it can not feel very nice, to be honest. If you're sleeping on it all the time and you're waking up and it's just a big oily mess, it can feel a bit rank sometimes. So the way that I manage oil-based buildup is I use hair tonics and sometimes a bit of shampoo. So this is Templeton's tonic. So this is an oil-based tonic. It's got grapeseed, apricot, meadow farm seed, hemp seed, vitamin E oils. So it's an oil-based tonic. I've got it in the Trailhead scent, which is really, really nice. It smells delicious. It smells so good you could almost want to like drizzle it on a Greek salad or something. It's really nice. So this is an oil-based one. You get oil-based tonics and you get water-based tonics. This is an oil-based one. So with this, I will not all the time, but probably maybe after a few days of having some build-up, I'll apply just a few drops of this into my hand, same as I would with the pomade. Rub it together, and I'll put it in my hair before I go to bed. And then I'll sleep with it in my hair. And what it does is it just breaks down like the heavy waxes. And then when you wake up in the morning, your hair feels a lot softer. Sometimes, particularly if you're using heavy or firm pomades, your hair can start to feel very waxy and it can start to get a bit too hard. So that just breaks that down and just makes it nice and soft. And then it's easy then to apply some more the next day. You can also just use that if you've got a lot of build-up in your hair. Sometimes in the morning you don't even have to apply more pomade. You could just use a bit of that to sort of refresh it and get it back into place. You might not even need to put any more pomade in. You might not be able to get as much height, but if you just wanted to just quickly do your hair, you could just use a bit of that tonic. So also for build-up management, I use Rusal Blue. So this is a water-based one. Rusal do 2 hair tonics. This one is more for oil-based build-up management. So for sort of cleaning your hair. Then they do an orange one, which I haven't actually tried, but I wouldn't really have much of use for it, which is more for giving volume before applying pomade. So you would put it in your hair and then blow dry it, and it gives you volume. But I don't really use a blow dry, so I don't use that one. So this one is really good for it just sort of cleans your hair up quite nicely. Is the best way to describe it. Again, sort of cuts through. If you've used the Templetons the night before and got everything soft, if you then apply some of this. So the way I use this is I apply it before I get in the shower. So I'll squirt it into my. It's got just like the little tiny nozzle in it, so you can just literally just squirt it straight into your hair. And so I'll squirt it in, leave it for a few minutes to sort of do its work, break things down a bit, and then I just rinse it out when I'm in the shower. And again, that just makes your hair feel cleaner, strips away some of the, if it's getting a bit too greasy or too waxy, it strips that down and just makes your hair feel a lot cleaner. And then also, if you just want to manage the build up, but you don't want to completely wash it out, you can then we could use any shampoo, but you can just use shampoo. I use Aussie, this is Aussie Miracle Moist shampoo. It's not going to completely degrease if you just use shampoo, but again, if you just wanted to clean your hair and you still want the build up there, you could then use a bit of shampoo. But again, I wouldn't use that every day when I'm having oil-based build up. Just if it's like I'm in day 4, 5, 6, and it's starting to, it feels like it needs a clean. So that's what I would do for managing oil-based build up. For completely degreasing, I would use, this is Ivor's, again, oil-based tonic. So this is a bit more heavy duty than the Templeton Tonics one. It's just a bit heavier, a bit oilier. So I find it works better for when I want to completely degrease, because it just breaks down the oils and waxes in my hair more so than the Templetons. I don't use it so much for when I'm managing build-up, because it can be maybe a little too oily. Whereas the Templeton sort of soaks into your hair overnight, I do find I get a bit of an oily residue with Ivor's one. That could just be me maybe using a bit too much of it. Maybe I should just use a bit less. But even if I've just used a few drops, I do sometimes find that, it can be a bit too oily. But then they've got pros and cons for both. This I find better for managing build-up. This is better for degreasing. So I'll put this into my hair before I get in the shower, leave it for a few minutes to sort of break things down, soften things up. And then I'll put in some of the Rousel Blue again, leave it for a few minutes, breaks things down even more. And then the real, well, not so secret weapon, but the thing that really, really helps is Aussie. This is Aussie 3-Minute Miracle Deep Treatment. So the shampoo is called Aussie Miracle Moist. It's not even a conditioner, but it's sort of like a hybrid thing. It's not called a conditioner technically. It's Aussie 3-Minute Miracle Smooth Deep Treatment. So I've used other conditioners in the past that don't work for me for degreasing completely. This is the only one that I found personally that does work. Again, depending on how much build-up you've got, you do sometimes have to use a lot of it. So if I've been, say, like a whole week of build-up in my hair, I mean, sometimes you will have to use perhaps 3 or 4 big dollops of it, for like so big in your hand, to get rid of it. I know some people with that will put it on dry hair and leave it for a few minutes and then rinse it. I don't do that. I just get in the shower as normal after I put my tonics in, get my hair wet, and just say it might take 3, maybe even 4 rounds of it. But yeah, you got to put it in, leave it for a while, rinse it, put more in. But that will, in my case, that will completely kick everything out of it. And I will then use a bit of the Miracle Moist shampoo. Again, I do find that a bit more heavy duty than other shampoos for sort of degreasing and oil-based pomade, managing oil-based build-up. So then, I'll use that, and then that will just kick the rest of it out, and then that's it. That's done. So yeah, just a few products there. So really, a shampoo, sort of conditioner hybrid, a water-based tonic, and an oil-based tonic. So don't need a huge amount, but that's all that I use, and that's what does the trick for me. I've never found that from doing that routine that I get out of the shower and I find that I've still got residue or build up in my hair. That knocks it out completely. So there you go. I think that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions about that, ask me in the comments. I hope you found that useful, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.